Well, hello everyone! I know, these kind of videos are all over YouTube, but yes, I'm aware of Pestil's tier list of guns, but here's the thing. This tier list is not for playing the game like chats, how I like to play it, no. This tier list is for people who enjoy playing the game like a tower defense, you know, those photosynthesis enjoyers, you know, my pronunciation is getting wrong here. Well, so if you are a Shift W player, well, this tier list is not for you. So take your Meta HK and Gimpy mask and of course stock right of. So pop a soda, make some popcorn, don't forget to drink some water also, and come here my friend, I'm gonna tell you which guns are great to punish the W keyers, because we are going to stay a very long time here, so enjoy. So I'm gonna try to be as accurate as possible with this one. Keep in mind some of you have different opinions, which is fine by me, to be honest. So if you disagree with me or if you wanna add something to the mix, don't worry, I will be reading you in the comment section, so maybe I'll learn something from you. Remember guys, I'm open to any suggestions, anytime. So the S tier is for guns that are great in almost all situations. They are cheap, reliable, and often comes back from insurance. Those guns are very effective to take down geared players in the extract, and have almost no downsides at all. The A tier, it means the gun is solid, so makes the jobs easier, but it has some sort of little downside. It could be the price, it could be that the gun is not full auto, etc. So the B tier, these still are solid guns, but the downsides are more noticeable. Maybe the magazine is small, maybe this is expensive, but for what you are doing, you know, at the end of the day, we are ratting. The tier C, it means that those guns could get you killed. Sure, you can pull some good loot with them, but their downsides are now noticeable, you know? This can let you down in the team fight, or maybe they are so expensive for what they offer. The D tier are reserved for guns that are just bad, you know, or hard to get. This separates from the premise of the rat, cheap and effective. So that means that these guns are expensive for no reasons, or they are so bad at killing PMCs. The E tier is usable, but of course it will let you down most of the time. The recoil, magazine capacity, or just being bad overall. And of course, for the last, the F tier. This will let you down most of the time, or they need too much progression to make it work, you know, like having Kappa or being level 40. So these guns are not recommended at all for me. Also, I'm gonna rate the guns and I'm gonna take into account 3 factors. Those factors will be rounded up and having a final verdict. So I'm gonna take into account, keep in mind, things like the price, availability, and of course effectiveness. And of course, one of the most important things, make the gun disposable. So you can drop your gun, take all the loot and leave. So these are the factors. Factor number 1. Range. If the gun is good for long ranges or short ranges or both, and of course if the gun is all purpose. So imagine if this gun can be deadly at short and long ranges, of course it will be at the top. Factor number 2. Price. Of course, part of the rating is go cheap and going out of the rate with expensive stuff. That is the basic, you know, that's Rat 101. So at the end of the day, price is also a condition to be taken into account, because the more expensive your gun is, it will be more likely to be taken, so keep that in mind. And factor number 3, it is the ammo. So we all know, everyone knows this. What matters in Tarkov is not the tactical gun or the crazy attachment, nope. The most important thing is what leaves your gun, the ammunition, and of course the effectiveness of the penetration of your bullet. So if the caliber has good flesh ammo, or for those leg metal rats, and of course the capacity of the magazines, everything will be taken into account here, since having 30 rounders sometimes is not enough to kill a chat or kill multiple chats. So, you know, factor number 3, ammo. Those are the parameters I will be taking into account to rate these guns. So keep in mind, I've tried this almost all of them, and I know what I'm talking about. You know, I know 1 or 2 things about exit camping. So being effective, taking home the hard-earned loot, and once said that, let's go to the tier list. Chapter number 1, Assault Carbines. The BSK-94. I'm gonna put the BSK and the 9891 together. They are very similar in form and performance. This gun is solid for early and mid-wide camping, thanks for being available at Prepper 1 and 2 respectively. Nice fire rate, good size, but there's an issue here. It's 9x39 gun. This ammo is available at low levels, and of course this ammo has the word for it for like the FMJ bullets that are 75 flash damage, and combine this with the low capacity of 20 rounds per magazine makes this gun a risky choice in short ranges, because you know the gun is hard to use at long ranges because the velocity of the ammo of the 9x39 rounds, and of course even if you put some SP6 or SPP, the low capacity makes it hard to fight, you know, more than one PMCs, because remember, people like to play it in squads to take care of each other. So first factor gets a C, second factor gets a B, third factor gets a D. So this gun gets a nice C tier. The ADAR 215. Of course, I'm not going to bias here, because this gun is one of my favorites to make chats dance with the Warmageddon, you know, I like in my videos. But I gotta say the ADAR is a solid gun, because the nature of its semi-auto. It can land accurate shots to the guy who wanna extract. This gun is designed to be used at range, at close range, and of course you can struggle because it is semi-auto, but a steady aim is always rewarded. This gun is available at Skill 1. I think it is like 45k, which can be nice, but thanks to the flea market, you can get it cheaper. And well, you can use a lot of ammo with this baby, and you can have it all. If you wanna go pen armor, 995, A5, A1, and of course in case if you have a good progression, or if you don't want to make some questing like me, you have the HP rounds and Warmageddon rounds. With some shots on the leg, the chats will be dancing for you for mercy, so it is pretty nice gun for those extra defending sessions. The first factor gets an A. Since this is a long range gun, it is great, but at short ranges it can be something, sometimes it is messy, so this gets an A. Second factor gets an S. Thanks to the flea market and the low traders, you can get a nice attachments, you know, silencer and even the 100 round magazines for taking squads. These guns can be mod in all the situation. You can mod it out however you want, and all of that for less than 100k rubles. And the third factor gets an S. Again, so much ammo for choose. If you wanna go high pen ammo, nice flash ammo, nice recoil, chat's gonna have a bad time with this one. So this gun of course belongs in the A tier, only because it has no full auto. Solid choice indeed for your extra camping sessions. AVT-40. What? This gun exists? Yeah. This gun is good for slapping chats in factory or reserve, thanks to its full auto nature, you know, shooting 15 rounds on 7.62 by 54 are 715 rounds per minute, you know, sounds nice, yeah, but well, actually no. This has 15 round magazines, takes fairly long time to reload, and of course you cannot put any optics on it, so you are stuck with a bare bone weapon, capable of course deleting a chat in seconds. So the first factor, it gets a C. Hard to use at range, hard to control recoil at close. So the second factor is D tier. Why? It is simple. This gun is not at the flea market for a very good reason. This scares chats, so you gotta do some questing in order to unlock it, and SCAF no longer spans with SCAF no longer have it, you know, so no chat tantrum stick until you make some quest. And the third factor gets an A. 7.62 by 54 rounds are scary and good for penetration. This has some decent flash rounds, but usually this can melt chats with LPS ammo, so the PKM at home goes to the D tier. The OP-SKS, or should I say, oh god, what a good gun. Similar to the ADAR, this one of my favorite guns when I started extra camping. Nice ammo, nice recoil, but you remember, not everything is perfect. Let me explain. This gun has a good range of course, good modding, good magazines, but it is semi-auto, so close range campings needs to have a steady aim and good clicking rate in order to delete the person you have in front of you. And of course this has some affordable price like 36k to Jaeger 1, so this is affordable, accurate, and if you like the Cold War era guns, this is perfect for you. So first factor gets an A tier. good at long ranges, thanks to the high velocity ammo that it has. Nice flash ammo of course if you get to choose, but risky at short ranges. Second factor, gets an A. Yeah, this gun is pretty cheap stock, but you need some kind of attachments and sometimes they are kinda expensive if you don't have the traders unlocked. And the third factor, gets an A. I know PP, BP and MA PMO are great for hunt the tier 6 chats. The flash rounds have some unnecessary recoil to the gun, so making leg meta kinda hard with this gun, but it is still viable thanks to the 75 rounder magazine. So the Simonov goes to the well-placed A tier. RFV, oh my lord, they're really freaking bad. I got that name back in the 28, in the patch 12.8, where the FAL, the RSASS, and of course the MDR762 dominated the meta. This gun was bad and never used. Then Nikita decided to change the recoil, and suddenly this was the meta. Now it's again on the forgotten side, thanks to Nikita moving the M80 to Peacekeeper 4. At that time we had better options, like the RSASS of the SR25. But remember that we are rats. Here we are thinking like chats, and we don't do that here. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the strongest point. Thanks to Ref 3, or if you extra cap some chats, you can use this gun with nice ammo at any time. And the best of all, since no one used this gun is usually 40k, or if you have some gas analyzers to spare, and those are less than 50k each, so you can make the barter on it. So it is pretty much you have a gun that is frowned upon chats, but a jewel for rats. It is nice ammo, nice mag capacity, nice range, so the first factor gets an A. Yeah, I know the 7.62x39 it's great for long ranges, so the RFV is, even with expensive attachment, have a fairly recoil, but of course it's a great spam gun at close range. But don't forget that you have a semi-auto gun. Second factor gets an S. Cheap, affordable, and of course chats hate it, and of course this has the Celtic aesthetic, so you can make this gun so disrespectful enough to chats, but nice to shoot some moving targets. Third factor gets a B. Even this gun is so strong, you have to grind it for the game in order to get nice ammo, like M61, M62, and of course the flash ammo is good, but not reliable, since the DMRs have more recoil than the 5.56 spammable guns. So by definition, the rats for Brink, this goes to the A tier. Solid choice for taxing some chats in Shoreline or Lighthouse. So, you know what to use. The SAG-AK, and of course the short variant. Yes, I know, I'll merge these two guns into one category, because the only difference is the short version have more ergo, that's all. Once said that, the ADAR AK, that's how I like to call it, is the new king of ergo, the king of spamming, the king of range. This gun is so effective to spam chat's legs, to have a 95 round magazines that you can kill the whole server by your own, and the recoil is so low that you can spam this baby at so much range, landing accurate shots, but there's more. This gun can be as cheap as 40k, and you only need to add a suppressor, the 95 rounder, a magnified scope, and of course you are ready to go. Simple as that. So the first factor gets an S. Everything is perfect in this one. Long range, short range, just spam the mouse for free loot, that's it. And you have 95 rounds to work with. Second factor gets another S. Yes, I know, for 40k for the gun, an extra 25k for the suppressor, and other 30k for the optic, you have a solid gun below 100k, which is my threshold for buying a gun for exit camper purposes. And the third factor gets another S. 545 ammo, it's so common in reserve, even the BS, the BP, and Igolnik. And of course, if you are a leg meta rat like me, then use HP round. You have a plenty to choose from, and of course the choice is yours. And my dear rat, my dear exit camper, if you haven't used the ADAR AK, try it, and of course I bet that you will love it. Trust me on this one. So by merit, this gun goes to the top, the S tier gun. And yes, S tier gun. The SKS. Why would you use this gun if you have the OP version of it, F tier. I refuse to elaborate, no more. Well, I'm kidding right now. This goes to the A tier, same as his brother. The SR3M. I honestly never used this gun before. First of all, I will never use a gun that is not on the flea market for only one reason. It is not renewable, unless you have a high tier traders. Once said that, this gun have a scary fire rate. High pen ammo available on the flea, and this is a monster at close range. So for those who likes to use shotgun to kill chats, well, this is a good gun to use at close range in maps like Reserve, Customs, and of course, the first factor gets an A. This gun excels at close range. It is true, it overheats a lot, but make its job. Second factor gets a D. Yeah, I know this gun is almost 150k, unless you are a Gucci rat or a rat who camps for sport, not for sustenance. So this gun is not cheap at all. And keep in mind, this gun almost will never come back from insurance, so keep that in mind. And the third factor gets an A. The 9x39 rounds are designed for armor penetration. So this gun is good for stopping chats with brute force. And if you enjoy this one, D2 might be the place for you to use it. So overall, this sexy gun gets a B tier. Just don't break the bank here, feeding the chats. The SVT-40. The good old chat tantrum stick. This used to be good. Well, this is still good, thanks to its nature of being semi-auto. So you can put a Mosin scope with this also. And of course you get a 15 round magazine full of joy. It's perfect for sharing it with the chats at Emercom. Although this gun has been moved to Prapor 3. Still one of the best guns to inflict fear to the gun you are shooting. So long range, you can kill someone with 2 or 3 shots with the right ammo. Close range, it doesn't matter. Spam this gun until everything in front of you dies. So this gun is scary for people who knows how to aim and deliver. First factor gets an A. This gun is a menace at all range. Close, far, it doesn't matter. Few clicks and the meta gear is yours, my friend. As long as you have good ammo or you shot in the head. Second factor gets an A. Yes, this is true that now is Prapor 3, but thanks to the flea, this gun is like 50 or 60k on the flea, so you can save the scope in the pouch and use it when you are now in your exit camping spot. So third factor gets an A again. Simple, 15 rounds of Mosin rounds wood plates are enough to take multiple targets. And this gun goes to the nice and cozy B tier. Why? Well, it is simple. This gun cannot be suppressed, and if you happen to find the lapsman on your raid and he hears you when you are shooting or he's where the shots are coming from, you're gonna have a very bad day. But B indeed, it's a good spot for this funny haha stick. The TX-15, the Gucci ADAR. Yes, I know, everything what an ADAR does. The ammo, the accuracy, the good ammo, everything, and more expensive price. Go figure. But I'm not gonna lie here. I love this gun. The suppressed sound sounds so sexy and satisfying, and the build that comes with it is nice. But again, the TX is more for Gucci rats who likes to flex and of course leaving a message to the chats cam in the exfil. Other than that, the TX doesn't offer something different from the ADAR. So the factor, the rating is the same as the ADAR, but a tier lower than the ADAR. So let's put it on B tier. And don't get me wrong, if you use this, you have all my respect. The Vper-Hunter. I could be a boomer right here, I tell you. Those were the glory days of the Vper-Hunter, loading this bad boy with M61, going to interchange or reserve and dumping all the 10 bullets on your nearest chat and get of course a free kit. Now this is a burning memory. Yes, I know, the Vper-Hunter used to be a signature rat gun, but since the M80 is least reachable and the RV, well, exists, the Vper-Hunter is not worthy anymore. So don't get me wrong, this gun always be remembered as the OG rats. It was a better times indeed. The first factor, this gets an A because this gun is great in range. It can be suppressed. The second factor gets tier C. This gun is kinda expensive for what it offers, so suppressing this gun is kinda expensive also. So the third factor gets an E. Even having the most powerful 7.62 cartridge to shoot, it only have access to 10 rounder magazines and ammo is hard to come by. So yeah, it is sad, but the Viper is not available anymore. So this gun goes to the D tier. Rest in peace, my friend. We made so much chats angry back in the old days of Tarkov. Still, if you wanna use this for paying some respect for the good old days of the rat, go ahead. I will appreciate you so much for your honest work. The VPO-136. This is a semi-auto AKM. The upgrade if you don't like the SKS. I never use this gun so much since I'm more fan of the 209, but this gun has some respectable stats. It is cheap to mod. There is one issue here: the recoil of this gun is noticeable, especially if it is unmodded. But you can overcome this, especially at long ranges, because the 7.62 by 39 rounds are powerful, especially if you pair this with PP or BP. And don't forget, this gun is not used so much, so chats are not gonna take it, unless it is only for pure grudge for you, and towards extract defenders. Other than that, this is solid gun for ratting at all rangers. So first factor gets an A rank. This is useful for all ranges, thanks for the bullet velocity. This is not a gun recommended for leg meta, since the recoil is noticeable. So second factor, here this gun gets an C. I know it is for the same price that you can get an AKM fully auto, but this is semi-auto, so use this instead. And third factor, this gets an A. So this is same to the SKS, you have good reachable ammo, and you can use the PP bullets thanks to the flea, or higher if you have good traders. Overall, this gun gets a well-deserved B tier. The VPO-209. Yes, the all-reliable. This gun is also one of my favorites, as you can see on my early wipe extra camping videos. This gun is solid choice for an extra camping session. You got nice mags, nice ammo, nice everything. The only downside is that it is hard to use this gun at range, unless you are using APM rounds. Then the story is improved. This gun was made for inflicting maximum misery to the chat. Why? It is simple. You load this baby with Gexa. It is only 4 and 5 shots to the leg are enough to put them on the dirt. And if you have Tarkov Shooter 3 part done, you can craft the APM rounds. Those bullets are like if you are shooting a lit chorizo to your enemy. This hits like a truck, and of course it is cheap. Enough said, the first factor gets an A. Just compensate your shots if you are using Gexa ammo at long ranges. Second factor gets an S. It is only 28k rubles to get this puppy. Even you can use this as early as wipe day, so it is nice. And third factor gets a B. Simple. Gexa is great to delete some leggies, but the AP ammo sounds good. If you are chat and have a tier 5 or tier 6 ammo, this will take a few shots to penetrate, and at the end of the day, watching the chats dancing while getting shot, it is pleasing to our eyes. So by my expertise with this gun, I'll give it a nice and solid A tier for ratting. Chapter number 2, Assault Rifles. The AK-12, the HK-AK, so honestly I don't use this gun either. It's too expensive, not too many attachments to silenced, and of course the same round as the other 545 AKs, so there is no reason to use this one, other than test driver quest, or use it because if you used to love the Call of Duty Ghost era, so then go ahead, enjoy this as much as you like. So the first factor gets an S tier. 545, it's an affordable caliber, cheap, affordable. The bullets, you have access to the BP or BS rounds, and it is pretty well rounded. The second factor gets a D.
That's what she said.
It is 70k for a rifle which shoots slightly faster than the regular AK, so no thanks to me, especially with the quest. Many people will overprice this on the flea for that reason. Third factor gets an A. You can use a 95 magazine on this and go full auto insanity. Well, the overpriced AK goes to the C tier. AK-74 and variants. I know, many faces, one AK. I'm gonna condense all of the AK variants into one single category. Since almost all of them share the same performance, there's little to no difference between any of their variants. Once said that, another cheap choice to tag some heavy chunkies who wants to extract, thanks to the full auto, high available ammo, fire rate, and of course the most important thing, cheap. So makes this gun perfect for a well-read attack in a budget. No need to heavy mod this to make it work. It is short, long ranges, it doesn't matter. The AK545 can help you in any situation. Just make sure to avoid mano a mano with chats, unless you wanna turn to mincemeat with their AKs or spears, you know. First factor gets an S, and all the 545 AKs, you have all the ammo available just for you. Second factor gets an S, especially the AKS-74. It could be as low as 23k. Chats will feel disrespected if they see you with this in your hand after dying. And the third factor gets an A tier. Using a 95 rounder, full auto, you can go full firing squad with this thing at distances. Overall, the AK gets a good A tier. AKM and variants. The big brother of many faces. This is the same as the AK-74 variant. You know, too many faces, but chamber and 7.62x39. I can make an exception here to the AK103. This used to be a good gun back in the days. Everything changed until the Mutant and the RD704 nation attack. So it became one of the pile of these 7.62 AKs. So the first factor of all of them gets an A. The flesh ammo and high pen ammo is available. Pick your poison. Second factor gets an A. Some of them are needed for quests, make them expensive. Some of them are as cheap as 40k rubles. So pick wisely. And third factor gets an A. Use the same ammo as the SKS. So this gun overall gets a good A tier. The AK101 and 102. Another AK, but this one have two faces, long and short barrel, and this AK wanted to be different. I call it the Trader AK because it shoots like the AR ammo. That's right, the 5.56 caliber on an AK. Sounds like an identity problem to me, but I digress. This gun has the same perks as the ADAR, but in full auto. The only problem that you only can have is 45 rounders to fit this AK, unlike the ADAR, which has the 100 rounder magazines. Other than that, if you enjoy NATO rounds and the AK aesthetic, this gun is great for you at taking chat's cargo out of the shoulders in mere seconds. This third factor, I give it an S tier. Remember, Warmageddon to the legs, or SOS-ST, or M55A1 to the face. Long or short distances, no problemo. Second factor, S tier. This gun can be as cheap as 28 rubles on the flea market, 28k to be precise. Cheap and effective, and also you can use the AR-15 platform suppressors because this is a plus. And third factor gets another S. The 5.56 ammo is great for extra camping overall, so much to choose from. And now the verdict on this awesome gun. This gun belongs on the A tier, and before you ask me why, the 45 rounders are sometimes not enough, but still this is an awesome gun. The AK-74U and variants is again the too many faces, now small, same caliber, same specs and same everything, but this comes in a small package. The only problem here it is that the AK have a little bit more recoil than the 5.45 full size variants. So if you like a little AK-545, which is a little bit harder to kill long distances targets because, you know, for the little added recoil, so this AK is for you. So the factors are the same for the AK-74 and variants, but of course the place I'll send this, it is to B tier. The AS-VAL. Nothing can expel more sweat or lapse main than this gun. This has the sweat signature back in the 12.9 days, a close range monster. This gun still is a monster though, but for close and medium range. Extra camping with this gun is like being Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, using the face of a chat to rat them. Disrespectful? Yeah, indeed, I know. After all, it's all about the message here. The first factor gets an A. excels to kill at short and medium range. Long range it's hard to use, but it is possible. The second factor gets at E tier. Why? Yes, this is a chat gun. It is expensive magazines, expensive bullets, and expensive treatment or emotional damage to the chat's victim of this gun at the extract, especially in safe room, so use this at your own risk. And the third factor, this is at 9x39 rounds are great to kill everything in seconds, so by that meaning I rate this gun to the B tier. So use it at your own risk. AS-12. Lit mortadella on your enemies. Nothing yells more authority than an unsilenced AS-12 with PS12B rounds. One tapping thorax with this, but you know, this comes with full auto, so of course go figure. And chats rejoice with the sound of this in the normal PvP. Imagine hearing its roar on D2. Or even in woods. It's all about psychological warfare. First factor gets an A. Useful only for close range due to the slowness of the bullet, but sure as hell the bullets are packing so much heat, so close and medium rangers are recommended. Second factor gets a B. It is pricey, I know, but the fear that this gun inflicts to the chats is unmatched. So third factor, S tier. Sure, the mortadellas that this thing shoots are brutal, so the leg meta is viable too, but we all know that this gun is to brute force to the thorax of the chat in order to get the loot, so because this is the way. So all these facts, this go straight to S tier because of the psychological eerie this gun has. The Mighty AUG. Another of the Call of Duty nostalgia guns, of course for extra camping, is nothing more than an M4 SCAR 5.56 or G36 can offer, and this is expensive, the A3 version, which is the most used version. No point of use this for exit camp unless if you enjoy this sexy bullpup. If you do, great, go ahead and cause pain of misery with this. So first factor gets an S. You know, this is chamber and 5.56, so all of those bullets are bueno at any range, and this is only full auto, so it is great. Second factor gets a C. Since it revolves around 70k rubles, it is that expensive, but again, sexy gun if you enjoy it. So third factor gets a B. Even using the good 5.56 ammo, this gun only has 42 rounders at maximum, so you gotta make every shot count. Overall, my verdict to this one is C tier. It is not good in price, but of course is sexy as hell. The MDR 5.56. If you want a perfect 5.56 gun to drop chats like sack of potatoes, this is the one they are looking for. This gun is great and solid. There is no need for modding, just slap a suppressor and X4 scope, and of course you are ready to go. And also you can use the 100 round magazines, perfect for those prolonged fights, perfect one in all ranges, suitable for all chat sites from hefty chunkers to oh lord he coming, you know, those chunky chats. First factor gets an S. Good ammo, leg meta or high pen, this is better than the ADAR for one simple thing, it is full auto. Second factor, it gets a B. Sometimes it's cheap, sometimes it's not, so good luck finding an MDR in the fleet for under 70k. And of course, if you want to exit camp, it will be worth just for you. And third factor, S tier. Yes sir, if you can use the 100 rounders, 40 rounders, all you want, and this pretty bullpup goes to the top. One of the clown's favorite, S tier. The MDR 308. This is the bigger and blacker brother of the 5.56 MDR. Another of the chat's favorite. This is the same as the AS-VAL. If you want to cause serious damage to the chats, this gun is the good to go. This is a full auto 308 rounds with a 25 magazine fed. Sure, this gun is so effective at killing things. So first factor, this gets at A tier. These things will devastate anything at any range, so no wonder why the chats use this so much. The second factor, we got an F tier. because this is expensive as hell. If you wanna have it, you're gonna spend at least 190k, so you gotta make some quest. Or if not, if this is going to be 290k for mechanic level 4, and this will never ever come back from insurance, so take note of that. And the third factor gets an A tier. The ammo is great on full auto, so this thing will eat your target alive. And with all of that, this goes to the B tier, an effective gun, but this is too expensive, and personally this violates violently my rat code, so it is your choice. If you wanna use this thing, it is your call. G36. Putting Tarkov aside, this gun reminds me of the official Mexican FX-05 Huixicotl assault rifle. I know, this is the version that the rifle is based on. The Huixicotl in Nahuatl means fire serpent. But for some reason, the G36 is another solid option for exit camping. Due to the caliber, the affordability of the gun, it is great to make some chance dance what they are trying desperately to spot you. Unlike the MDR, this gun requires a little bit of modding, but overall, nice gun to leg meta, thorax shots, so everything you need for a chat kill. First factor gets an S tier. You know, the 5.56 is a good caliber. Second factor gets an S tier. This gun is usually from 45 to 50k on the flea market, so you can change the sight and you are good to go. So the third factor gets another S, because you can use the 100 rounders on this. It is pretty important if you want to spam some legs at distance, and of course, since this is a gun that I have some experience with, I'm gonna put it on S tier. And trust me, in this one, this gun will never let you down at extra camping. The HK416, you know, the M4 but for pre-ejaculators, another chat gun, so you know what to do with this. First factor, I'll give it an S tier since it has some of the higher fire rate available and the good ammo, so you can spam at any distances a barrage of lead at the chat extracting or leg meta, so he can dance for you before donating the loot. Second factor, F tier. This, of course, it is expensive, 100k for a gun, and if you want even less recoil, the longest barrel is like 40k at max traders, so you need max traders in order to make this gun work for you, because this gun is for going hard or going home. And the third factor, I'll give it another S tier, because this is the same as the MDR. And for the final place, this gun belongs on the B tier. This is a chat gun indeed, but of course you can cause some serious damage with it. Pick your poison. M4A1. This is the Barbie doll, but for men. This is a nice solid gun indeed, but this is expensive to mod to make it effective, so use this if you are if you like to use Gucci guns, or you're a Gucci rat, or both, you know. At the end of the day, this gun is only for showing some drip, because this can be modded to infinity. So the first factor, S tier. Range doesn't matter, the M4 will never fail you, so you don't fail the shots. The second factor, C tier. Why using an M4 if you have the G36 or the SCAR? So the third factor, S tier. As all the 5.56 gun, it has good ammo, good gun, reliable, and you have plenty of ammo to choose. And my verdict is this gun belongs to the worthy A tier. The MCX 300 Blackout. This is the rapid cousin of the M4. This gun shoots fast, have a good ammo, and of course sounds sexy. The problem here? Its range. Sure, the MCX can be useful at long ranges, but the recoil is going to be hard to control. I would say this is a rabbit bullet hose. It is perfect to leave an impression, to tell them that they have to forfeit their loot, or to help chats to extract faster, you know. First factor, it gets a B tier. Now you can mow down chats with this at close range. Long range you gotta take accurate shots, especially if you are using CBJ or AP rounds. At close range, this thing is a monster. The second factor, A tier. Sometimes this thing is under 40k, sometimes it's over 70k. You gotta hunt this on the flea market until you get one cheap. Just keep the suppressor on your pouch until you are ready to commit chat helping. The third factor is S tier. This gun has good ammo from both worlds, AP or CBJ, ultimate armor or head, or whisper for some leg meta fun, and you have access to the 100 round magazines, so you know what to do with this. So with all these awesome features, this get the well deserved A tier. The MCX Spear. This is a replacement for the Mythic N4 on the US military. This gun is another chat signature gun. This gun represents the raw sheer power, the status, and of course arrogance, because unlocking this on Lightkeeper is a merit of its own, and of course you can get this on Rev 4 and shove all the power, status and arrogance on the chest of the raidback animal who is trying to extract. So the first factor, S tier. This gun is deadly at any range, just point and click and you're done. Second factor, F tier. This is too much trouble to get one, and if you are up to the task, well, you will have one of the best guns to hunt anyone of the server, even the chats. Third factor, A tier. This only has powerful rounds, powerful stopping power. That's why it is so far from the progression. So by definition, the king of the chat guns goes to the B tier. Personally, this is a savage violation to my rat code, so use it at your own risk because you might turn one of them. The MK47 Mutant. This is the AR-15 who identifies as an AK. Yes, this has the ergonomics of an N4 with the stopping power of the AK-762 rounds, yet another chat signature gun. This is too expensive for my taste, and of course, not gonna lie, this is a sexy gun indeed. The first factor, S tier. It is lethal at all ranges. Second factor, E tier. It is expensive for what it offers. If you want something like this, use an RD704. Again, if you are a Gucci rat like this, go ahead. And sure, if you have too much money, and of course getting chat's exit camp. So if you can afford this, you earn it. So third factor, A tier. The 762 AKs have good ammo available, and you can put a 75 drum magazine on this, so have fun shooting this in full auto to the extract. So this gun gets on the C tier. Not recommended by me, but if you wanna use it, go ahead my dear Gucci rat. The RD704. This gun is nasty. It is better than the Mutant in so many ways. So if you want to go Gucci with a shotgun, then get this one. It is easy to mod, but you require some good trader levers, so it is not recommended for someone who doesn't quest like me. So first factor, A tier. Like the Mutant, it is effective at all ranges. Second factor, C tier. It is expensive, but sometimes you can get one as low as 60k on the flea market, so keep hunting those deals until you get one. And the third factor, A tier. As the SKS, this is good 762 ammo, so this little fella can get into B tier list. So don't expect it to coming back from insurance. You know, this gun is taken, and especially if you're extra camping. The SA-58. The good old juice cannon. Nothing like extra camping a raidback chat with this gun in hand. Full auto, this hits like a truck, and the best of all, you can have 50 round magazines on it, so it is a force to be reckoned with. The first factor, this gets an S tier. It is 308 ammo in the full auto at close range, and of course this is scary, and with 15 rounds you can take the whole squad in the extract by only yourself and still having ammo to spare. The second factor, this gets an A tier. Sometimes the SA-58 is as cheap as 50k on the market, so make sure to get one with the longest barrel, and then buy the 50 rounders and go there and cause some mayhem. And third factor, A tier. Since you gotta grind a little in order to get M80 rounds, so use BCP rounds, and it's your call. And well, using this can cause some serious trauma to the chats who wanted to have some nice loot, so this is a good trauma for them. This goes to the A tier. This car heavy. If you don't like the aesthetics of the SA-58 for some reason, or if you love Fortnite, for some reason again. Well, this gun might help you to get some tasty extra kills without a hitch. The only real problem here, if you have only access to the 20 rounders, so you gotta make every shot count, and of course this gun is way ahead of progression, so grinding it could be annoying. This is pretty standard gun. So indeed the first factor gets an A tier. It is same as all the 308 rounds. This is lethal at all ranges, but getting good ammo requires some grinding. Second factor, this gets to C tier. For the price you can get a good SI-58, but if you like this car more, go ahead. And the third factor, this gets a B tier. Nice ammo but small magazine, so make every shot count. Overall, this gets the well-deserved place of B tier. The Scar Light, another gem for camping. It is cheap, moddable, accurate, and you know, the favorite topping of me, compatible with 100 rounders. So this is a mix for success on hunting some chats even on Lighthouse, Shoreline, Woods, and all the open field maps. This gun is so reliable and sturdy, and of course the best of all, it's spammable. That is the important part, spammable. That pisses chat so much. So first factor, S tier. 5.56 at range, we know it's good. Second factor, S tier. It fluctuates from 40k to 50k from time to time, you know, picking one with the long barrel that is recommended, and you are good to go. And third factor, S tier. This also, as I told you before, 100 rounders full of Warmageddon or HB ammo, and you can make every chant of the server to dance Charleston or go into the head, doesn't matter, as long as the juicy backpack is secure on your stash. So once said that, this marvelous thing go straight into the S tier. The Velociraptor. Yeah, this is the new addition to the game. It is kinda cool gun, not gonna lie, but cute doesn't mean effective. I tried this a few raids, it is jumpy, you can have only 45 rounders, and it is chambered in 300 blackout. And to make things worse, this gun is needed for test drive missions, so always will be expensive. This is not worth it on my humble opinion. So first factor, B tier. Even it is chambered in a good caliber, this gun is jumpy, so taking shots from afar it will be kinda hard to use, you know, and in close ranges, good luck, because of the slow fire rate. Second factor, E tier. 100k for a non-useful gun with an MCX is available, not worth it in my opinion. And third factor, B tier. Even with all the good blackout ammo, this only have 45 rounders. This requires some luck to use this one. So by all means, this gun belongs in the E tier. I was going to put it on F tier, but I think it is somewhat useful, but if you like it, well, it will be only for novelty purposes or for swag. So, E tier. Chapter number 3, DMRs. Before I continue, I won't cover the bolt action rifles. I know this is an offense for those people who enjoy bolties, and of course I get it, this is nothing personal. I don't like to camp with bolt actions, because why handicap you with a bolt action if you have a semi-auto option with the same caliber? Yeah, and I know the Lapua Magnum exists, but those are way ahead of the progression, so in this case, bolties are out of this list. Don't get me wrong, I love bolties, and if you, well, land headshots like the White Dead, so you have my admiration of that. Anyway, we are moving on the DMRs. G28, this one is the Gucci DMRs of all available right now. It is sexy, accurate, and of course this is a very good gun overall for some long range kills. My issue with this is the same as the Mutant. There's other choices that offer better things without breaking the bank, so if you're a rat like me who uses the chip to get the riches, well, skip this one. Or if you love to flex on chats and show this gun to your PMC on the dead screen, go ahead, be my guest. So the first factor is S tier. The range is not an issue with this baby, so the DMRs excels at taking long range targets, but also due to the nature of being semi-auto, it is spammable. The second factor, D tier. 80k for a DMR is kinda expensive, and keep in mind this gun won't come back for insurance, it is almost always taken. So the third factor, C tier. If you only have access to the 20 rounders, there's no more. But this thing shoots the good 308 caliber, so it is nice. But this gun needs to be an accurate hand to make it work. So this gun gets on the top of C, you know, B tier. The M1A. For some reason, this gun is more expensive than the G28, but of course, this was one of the best DMRs back on Tarkov old days. The Troy chassis, trigger happy, 50 rounders, M61, and of course it was a true shotgun indeed. This is still good, but you gotta spend too much cash to make it work, since the base version has too much recoil. But this gun used to be one of my favorites to shoot some chats back in the 12.9, so use it if you really like the gun. Otherwise, you will be spending too much cash for make it work. The first factor is S tier, deadly at all ranges. Second factor, F tier. Too much cash to make it work. You need to spend too much ruble on this. So, third factor, A tier. Even if the gun is expensive, you can make some spam builds with this, thanks to the 15 round magazines. So the final verdict, this gun goes to the C tier. The mighty MK18. Another gun to cause some traumatic experiences. This is another gun which needs too much progression to get it, but if you have it and you desire more than a chat's loot, well, use this unsuppressed on D2. No one will try to push you, I can assure that. The roar of this gun is majestic. So, factor number 1 gets an S. No matter the distance, this thing will split you in half with only one bullet. Second factor gets a C. Yeah, this is so expensive, but the plus in this gun it is you will cause severe PTSD to the people who dare to use your extract. And factor number 3, this gets a B, because if you happen to find AP rounds in this one, so you have the ultimate one-shot machine. So this baby gets the B tier for the sole reason of causing some shock to the person who don't look up in order to find you. The RSASS. This is a good gun, not gonna lie, sexy and reliable, but the reason why I don't recommend this is the following. First, it's almost 160k on the flea market, pretty darn expensive if you ask me. Second, it is needed for the Gunsmith quest, so bringing one and dying just help other people to complete this quest, and we all know what General Sam was said. In order to be rich, everyone has to be poor, so with that in mind, factor numero uno, S tier. As all the DMRs, this is a menace in all distance. Factor numero dos, F tier. Too expensive, too darn expensive. We are here to rob chats, not to make them profit out of your carcass. Factor número 3, A tier. Since you can use the new 50 rounders with this one, you can potentially turn this into a Call of Duty Warzone light gun and deliver 50 shots of pain and suffering to the chat. And this gun goes, of course, to the C tier. The SR25. Another sexy DMR indeed. We know that DMRs aren't cheap indeed. Oh, I said indeed twice. But if you're gonna go hard with those chats, this is the gun that you need. You just need a silencer, magnified scope, and you are good to go. This thing packs a punch. It is the cheapest DMR available in the category, and you can use the 15 round magazine if you have access to, of course. Pretty good indeed to run X-Fields overall. I recommend this one on Shoreline, Interchange, and Lighthouse. First factor, S tier. Second factor, A tier. I know 70k to 80k on the fleet, it's no bueno, but of course all the DMRs, this worth the risks, you know. Third factor, S tier. Imagine having a DMR with 50 rounds full of M80 and you see a raidback trying to extract through Shoreline. Having this could be handy, don't ya? So, in my humble and clownish opinion, this go high, straight to the S tier. The SVDs. We have another classic on Tarkov, the mighty SVD. Its ammo is capable of dropping people with ease. Just craft some LPS and you are ready to go. Make sure to silence this one because the sound is very distinctive. You can use this gun to camp car extracts because you can bait with the sound and people sure will come to see if someone died to the border sniper. The little they know you are the border sniper and they came to donation day. First factor, S tier. 7.62x54 is powerful and effective at almost any range. Second factor, A tier. Even if this is a questing gun for Punisher, sometimes it is as cheap as 7k or even 60k on the market. Make sure it has above 90 durability, otherwise your MOA will be so bad. So the third factor gets an S tier. If you happen to find some S&B ammo or even PS, you just tear apart through any PMC who dares to think about using your extract. And of course, we have another top tier DMR for ratting, so you know, this goes right above everyone else. S tier. The VSS. Since Nikita decided to ban this gun from the flea market, making it less accessible and having options like the BSK or the SR3M or even the AS-VAL, there's no point of using this anymore. Don't get me wrong, this gun used to be good for photosynthesis gaming. It was cheap and you could put high pen ammo, and this gun was so silent, it was so hard to spot you. Now chats has botanophobia and cry for help, so Nikita took this out of the right hands and nerf pushes, you know. First, second and third factor goes to F tier. And of course this gun with all of these factors gets an S tier. Well, I'm kidding here. Well, you will be the first one of the F tier. Enjoy, Mr. VSS. Chapter number 4. Machine Guns. The M16 and variants. Yes, the pig is in the game, and boy, it is a fitting name. You can make so much mess with this thing. I'm a big fan of the M16. 100 bullets of pure rat fuel rage. On the chat's knee, of course, or the chat's head. You decide where. It is so easy to lock down and exit with this one, just hold and click until the threat is neutralized. So keep in mind the ergonomics are not existing with this one, so take that into account. First factor, A tier. Even it shoots 308 in full auto, it has some respectable recoil, right to single shot at long distances. Second factor, A tier. The price of this thing changes so much. You can get, if you're lucky, you can get it for only 60k, but the cheapest silencer and you have the hell of a gun. The third factor goes to is S tier. With 100 bullets, you can brute force on any armor using BCP or M80, and even you can leg meta with Ultra Nuzzler. So you have many creative ways to take down multiple shots at once. It's kinda like a Vietnam machine gun nest. So with this one goes into the beloved A tier. The PKM or the PKP. This thing shoots Mosin bullets in full auto, and you can only get it by killing Kaban or extra camping who killed Kaban. Either way, this gun is only for someone who wants to leave a message, someone who doesn't care about rubbers at all. So I'm gonna jump into the final verdict, F tier. The RPD and its variants. And no, this is not Raccoon City Police Department. This Soviet-era gun is for those people who stealth is not an option. If you're going to rat with this thing, it's because you don't care about the loot. You care about turning the unsuspected people into mincemeat, living worried of what just happened. And of course, this is a test drive gun, and this gun can be used to deliver the message. No exfil for you. First factor, B tier. It is hard to aim with this thing on full auto at distances, since the RPDN is the only one which you can put an opting on. Using this thing on range is hard, but not impossible. Second factor, A tier. Believe it or not, this 100 bullet stick is as low as 40k on the flea market. The end version is banned from the flea. So the third factor, A tier. This thing is more accurate than the 7.62 AKs, so you can load this with PS and brute force into the chat's thorax. You know, death by 1,000 cuts. Then they collect the loot and leave. Because that sounds great, you know? And of course, yes it is. So leave this baby at A tier. The RPK, another sleeping gun. This one has a little bit more of recoil than the average AK545, but it is cheap, and of course pair with this with the 95 rounders and you get a good bullet hose. Plus on this one you can use this to bait players on interchange, thinking Killa is alive, and then getting some good free loot while they are looking for their tracksuit. So this is a win-win situation. First factor, gets a B. Sure, this gun can be good at all ranges, but it is a little bit jumpy, so take accurate shots. Second factor, this gets an absolute S, so this can get as low as 25k. It is really cheap. And the third factor, S tier. 545 is a versatile cartridge, so you can go leg meta or armor penetration. Both are so effective at chat timing, and of course you can bait this to those nasty killer farmers. So this goes straight to the S tier. Capítulo número 5. Las escopetas. The AA-12. I hate when Nikita add an awesome gun like this one and then it gatekeeps on quest. So personally I love this gun and I cannot have it since I don't want to quest. It is annoying, but at the end of the day I understand because this thing is OP. Imagine having this Terry Crews style on safe room, and when the chats decided to come, you come out of the safe room with this thing with flechette and blast them. Of course, I know, I understand why this is on the free. This is not on the flea market. It will be a rat's paradise. So I still give it a D tier. The KS-23. First, I'm gonna do this. You belong here, baby, you deserve it. Then, I don't need to explain why. This is the OG chat tantrum stick. You could get easy loot with this, camping D2 under the training interchange. Only one bullet was needed to take Mr. Altin's sleek raidback animal down. One bullet. So, that's why they took it out of the flea market. Too much chats crying because you could also flash people with this shotgun. It was the best back in the patch 12.9. Factory, you get either Goat KS or Vector. So if you want to cause some serious damage, get this at property, use the Sharp 10, and that's it. I don't need to elaborate further. S tier. The Vanelli. My beloved Vanelli. So here, you earn it. Why put the Vanelli if it is a terrible shotgun? It is simple. The Vanelli has everything. First, it is insurance proof because the gun is so big that if someone take it, the chats has to sacrifice a weapon slot to take it, and it is not worth it in my opinion. So it doesn't cost more than 40k. So it is a lose-lose for the chat. Second, this has an internal 13 round magazine capacity, so you don't need extra max, extra nothing. Just load into the raid with some Magnum Foxshot, no rig, only armored, cheap headsets, no helmet, gets nice at coffee of D2 and blast some legs. And the third reason, we don't think like chats. Chats hate this gun because the slow fire rate, but us as rats, we don't need that, since the best armor of the game is not to be seen, and having 14 shots of Magnum buckshot is enough. The Vanelli is the embodiment of cheap, effective close range insurance proof gun. It has everything a rat needs for some D2 adventures, and I have videos to prove it, so S tier. Pump action shotguns. Don't. Just don't. Trust me on this one. I'm a professional rat. Don't. Please. Don't bother. MP153 and the MP155. This used to be my favorite shotguns to camp under the training interchange. Now, since the Vanelli is here, there's no point on having one of these. The max capacity of these shotguns are 8+1. Sure, this can be silenced, that's nice, but if you want a spam shotgun, you have the another monster available that I just spoke of. But this is not reliable, especially if you have multiple targets and only 9 shots. At the end of the day, if you like this, I cannot stop you from using them. To me, this is C tier. The double barrel shotgun. And no, if you having a pump action handicaps yourself, imagine only having 2 shots. No, and I know it's about the message, but also it's about not appearing in Reddit with some chats bragging for killing you. Have some respect for yourself, and of course your kind. You represent us all. F tier. The MP18, the same as the double barrel. This is the Eminem gun. You only have 1 shot, 1 opportunity. What if there's 3 of them? Yeah. Use this as your own risk. F tier. The revolver shotgun. This is only useful if you don't have anything else. 5 shots with a painfully slow reload. I think you get the point on this one, right? E tier, of course better than the double barrel itself. It's the SAG-12 and variants. The most broken shotgun in Tarkov. Fast, 20 round magazines as a maximum, flechette or magnum buckshot. This is the king of spam shotgun, and it comes with a full auto version, but of course the semi-auto just works just well. The first factor, A tier. If you want to kill chats at a distance with this, use rip slugs or superformance and watch them dance. Second factor, S tier. Only 25k for this thing. The most expensive thing you will buy, it will be the 20 round magazines or the 10 rounders. This is your call here. The third factor, S tier. If you want to munch some leggies, magnum buckshot, or if you want to munch some armor, flechette, aim and click like crazy. Everything in front of you is gonna die after the barrage of lead. It is guaranteed. So this it is the best gun to rat in Tarkov. Use it in D2 if you don't want to use the Benelli. So S tier. The mythical and mighty toss. This gun is about sending a message. This is the most meme gun on Tarkov. This gun has been the vein of people who move in this game, not because of the players, of course, because of the scav. Dying to a buckshot in the jaw from 100 meters away, surely this is not a nice experience. This gun is not good at piercing armor, but it happens. Of course, if you happen to kill a chat with this, you're gonna disrespect it so much that he might uninstall, especially if this has a thermal. 9 out of 10, they will uninstall the game for sure. So this gun is only for the rats who only seek the demise of the chats in the most disrespectful way. C tier. Chapter number 6, Submachine Guns. The MP5, another classic on this channel. Load this with rip rounds and let it rip. Cheap, nice fire rate, access to 50 rounders. Sure, this gun will put some shots on the dirt. First factor, S tier. Deadly at short and medium ranges. Just pure unadulterated chaos you can provoke on the extract with this one. The second factor, another S tier. It is only 30k and you can use some 50 round magazines, perfect for the rip rounds or AP point tricks. So the third factor, another S tier. 9mm is one of the best to use for ratting, rip, quake maker, Luger for legs, and AP or PvP for the face. So it is pretty much awesome and versatile. For this one, S tier. The MP5K. This is worse than an MP5, but sure, you can still use the 15 rounders, but you have more recoil and this cannot be suppressed at all. This gun is more for questing rather than defending the extracts. Sure, it can be useful at D2, but of course there's better options. With all that factors being the same as the MP5, with more recoil, so this guy belongs in a C tier. But if they add a stock and a silencer in the future, surely this can climb as high as S tier. This time, C tier. Sorry buddy. The MP7 and variants. Sure, this gun is a choice for chats for cleaning resort or dorms, and there's for a good reason. It packs a punch. This is small, reliable, and the only problem is you gotta have max traders in order to use it at its full potential without wasting too much money, and the ammo is hard to come by if you have low traders. So, first factor, A tier. Deadly at short to medium ranges. Second factor, D tier. Although this gun is cheap on the flea market, the suppressor is more expensive than the gun for some reason. The third factor, B tier. Even this has some good penetration, you need good trader levers in order to make it work, and of course, in the other hand, there is no reliable flash ammo with this one, so this one you gotta just aim high, and the 40 round magazines are mechanic forward or 30k on the flea, so you decide. So the MP7 gets a solid B tier. The MP9, small, compact, little bullet holes with a major flaw, small magazines. Sure, this gun will rip some legs apart, this is guaranteed, sure, but once you realize the chats travel in packs because they like to protect and rub each other's back, 30 rounders and 111 RPM doesn't sound nice, right? First factor, B tier. this gun does good at range, but not as far as the shoreline extract. Second factor, S tier. This is cheap, so it works for a rat. Third factor, S tier. 9mm have too many options for torturing shots, so this gun gets a good, well-placed B tier. The MPX has the same perks as the MP5 with more room for modding, you know? This gun can be modded into a laser beam, but that will hurt your wallet a little. This comes down into preferences, so if you enjoy this little thing, you have my respect, but it is expensive than the MP5, but remember that this does the job just fine. The factors are the same as the MP5, so this goes into the A tier. Well, the P90. This is another deadly little machine, 50 rounders of no recoil, good ammo, and the best of all, this is a bullpup configuration, so the barrel is not long enough to stick out. This is perfect for camping corners. The first factor gets an S tier. Believe it or not, this thing can be a laser beam at some distances, so if you use a 4x scope and spray and pray, and of course you sure get the chat done. So the second factor, A tier. 60k it is fair for what it offers. The third factor is S tier. This has one of the best flesh ammo for leg meta, and it can delete some chat legs at distance up front, or using armor penetration rounds surely will turn them apart, you know. And of course, since this gun has never failed me and I love it so much, so this goes in heaven. S tier. The Kedr and variants. Another RAT certified gun, especially the suppressed variant, a gun made for leg meta. Nice fire rate, but it has the same flaw as the MP9. This only has 30 rounders, and you burn these bullets at an alarming rate, so fighting chat squads will be a challenge. So first factor, this goes in C tier. Not good at medium ranges, since shooting the legs with fire with 30 rounds is hard, but of course it's possible. Second factor, S tier. It is cheap as dirt. The third factor, B tier. This is only available in leg meta ammo, so if you happen to cross weight with the Altin boy and you have no legs to shoot, well, rest in peace my friend. So this little beer cannon goes to the B tier. It is effective and of course infuriating to chats. PP19. This now it's a piece of art. It has the same problem as the other 9mm submachine guns with only 30 rounders. Now in this patch 016, Nikita added a 50 round magazines. So now this is a solid choice to rat in a budget. Sure, it shoots slower than the MP5, but this little thing is a laser beam. So if you don't like the MP5 and you prefer something a little bit more Russian, use this one instead. The factors are the same as the MP5, so this belongs here. Another great S tier. The PPSh or the PPSh, the Russian torture machine for excellence. Nothing is more satisfying than shooting a chat with this thing, with this huge muzzle flash, 78 rounders of the hottest flesh rounds, and hitting the chainsaw-like sound, smelling the loot as it falls on the ground. It is pure satisfaction, guaranteed. But I put it on C tier. Why do you say yeah? This gun is another gun for disrespecting chats, I understand. It's loud as hell, the muzzle flash is atrocious, that's why if you are a PPSh enjoyer and you kill chats with this, well, you are the best. But this stays in my C tier. The SAG-AK, this is semi-automatic version of the PP19. This gun has no recoil at all. This is effective to tap some chat legs with RIP or going to the head with PvP or AP, but honestly, this gun works wonders on close quarter extraction like D2, interchange and more. If you like the semi-auto nature of the SAG-AK, go ahead. This is the same factors as the PP19, but I put it on the A tier just because it is semi-auto. The ESR-2AIM. This is not a good SMG in my opinion. This is half expensive ammo, not good flesh options, 30 rounder magazines, and this is like an expensive Kedr, but of course with some penetration ammo. I personally don't recommend it. If you enjoy it, go ahead as always. So in my list, this goes to C tier. The STM. If you are a follower of the channel, you will know that this is one of my gems I used to camp with. The reason is the recoil back in 2012 it was gross, awful and not enjoyable. Since that, the STM was a reliable extra camping gun thanks to the low recoil and the rip rounds. Once Nikita decided to unstuck his head out of this crotch and make the game of course playable again on the 2.14, well, the recoil now is nice, so this boy now awaits on my arrival in a dark corner, waiting patiently for me to pick it up again. I'm sure this sounds sad, but this gun gave me so much on the old Tarkov days, so for that reason and because it is similar to the SAG-9, of course with more chance for modding, this gets an solid A tier. Recommended enough if you want to disrespect some chats with some semi-auto carabine. The UMP45. This is another certified rat choice. This is good, the ammo is great, the AP ammo is good for killing geary chats, or of course the RIP, which has a tremendous flash damage. The only problem with this bad boy is the magazine capacity, only has 25 rounds, and the fire rate is so slow, so firing multiple chats is not good, especially if you don't have good aim. So first factor, B tier, it is pretty average range. So second factor, A tier. It is cheap, the suppressor is more expensive than the gun, but doesn't matter. Third factor, B tier. The ammo is average, the RIP is fantastic, but again it has low capacity. But this is pretty usable. So the gun, the UMP goes to the C tier. The Uzi. This has low fire rate, it is cheap and uses the 9mm rounds. It is pretty average, right? Why? Then it is on E tier, you might ask. This is simple. This is the only gun that you can have a whopping 100 rounder magazines in a 9mm platform. Look at that. This looks so masculine, so perfect. You can kill a 5-man squad with only one magazine, and there's always bullets left to desecrate their bodies. This is true a rat gun indeed. It is cheap, accessible, and plenty of bullets to share like candy to the meta sweats. So by definition, this goes straight to the S tier. The Uzi Pro. This is the pre-ejaculator brother of the Uzi. This is like a Vector, it is a shredder, a leg muncher and helmet chipper. This is of course, as all the other guns, it has one single flaw. This only has 32 round magazine capacity, so you will chew through the magazine in seconds. So if you wanna enjoy this thing, keep in mind reloading mid-fight or be constantly repacking bullets. So first factor gets a B, it is pretty standard. Second factor gets an A, it is pretty cheap. So third factor gets an S tier. It is a 9mm gun, so enough said, and of course it is good. With all of this gun goes directly to the V tier. The Vector 45. This is a hell of a gun. You have all the fury of the 45 ACP rip rounds on a 111 rounds per minute. This is like putting a chainsaw on the chat's legs, but you have the same problem as every other SMG, the capacity. So you will burn the magazine very fast. If you don't aim well, sometimes you will leave the chat limping to cover, and of course the reload time is quite enough to get you killed. So the first factor is A tier. This is a bullet hose. Expect to melt some chants in seconds. Second factor, B tier. This is quite affordable, always below 60k. The third factor, S tier. The 45 ACP, it is the God's caliber round. You have very many rounds to work with, and of course this gun belongs to the C tier. And at last but not least, the Vector 9mm. This is the best of the two Vector brothers. This is nasty, and of course there's a reason why chats also use this gun. It has a very high fire rate. You can use a 9mm rounds in a nice 50 round magazines, so you have everything necessary to be a human lawn mower on Tarkov. And instead of cutting grass, you will be cutting the chat's legs. So first factor, S tier. This gun has almost no recoil, so you can spray from afar with reckless abandon. Second factor, F tier. I understand this baby is more than 100k, rarely goes down the price, so of course expect to lose this gun once you get killed. And third factor, S tier. 9mm is self-explanatory. And now, the place that I put this gun in the list is A tier, because this is the Gucci SMG for our beloved Gucci rats. And I won't analyze pistols either. Why picking a pistol when an SMG can do better? and of course in full auto. There's no point, and if you are the John Wick of Tarkov and you feel this is a direct offense, I'm sorry, but I don't think pistols are useful for riding. If you wanna have the pistol experience, use a SAG-9 or a STM. Other than that, pistols are not recommended. Well, that was all. The guns are usable for collecting some taxes and make this game even more miserable. Hope you like it. Remember, if you have anything to say, feel free to use the comment section. I will be happy to reply to you. And if you want more tier lists on this kind of nature, so give us some likes and share this with your chat friends. Make them aware what awaits on the extra for them. And always, if you want to hang out with other rat people, join to my Discord. You will find a friendly and nice community on there, and be sure to join the chat or rat. You know, everyone is welcome. I don't care who you are. That's all for today. Thanks for the time, and remember, a rat hidden in the rubble keeps the chap humble. So see you in the next time.